top stories for today. The Cyclops is stabbed and blinded. Perseus kills Medusa. Osidius returns home. Osidius kills the suitors. Perseus saves his wife from the serpent. And Perseus kills his grandfather. All the information you would like to know coming up next.
This is 4P God's News with Cydni Bolden and Marae Rossel.
Hello folks, thank you for watching 4P God's News. My name is Cydni Bolden and I am reporting live from the land of Lotus Eaters. Happening right now, the Cyclops, also known as Polyphemus, is recovering from being stabbed and blinded. A hero, identified as Osidius, crept quietly to where a wooden shaft was hidden. He took it from under the skin and heated the point of fire until its sharpened end glowed red. Before it had time to cool, he crossed the cave to the sleeping Cyclops and plunged a glowing stake into its single eye. This was part of the plan that Osidius and his men had to escape the cave. When they were finally able to escape it after hiding under goats, Osidius raised his voice and cried, quote, "Farewell, blind giant. Know that it was not the gods who took your sight, but mere weak men whom you could have destroyed with one finger. Farewell." That has been the last time we heard from him. Now we have Marae Rossel with a story to report. Marae?
Hello, I'm Marae Rosso. We have received news that a young hero by the name of Perseus has just slain one of the fearsome Gorgons, Medusa. Now, killing Medusa is a very difficult and almost impossible task to complete because of her snaky hair that could turn anyone into stone by just looking at it. But Perseus decided to go and kill Medusa and bring back her head as a wedding gift to the king Polydectes. Polydectes has told Perseus all about the Gorgons and how he would rather have the head of any one of them than anything else in the world. So of course, Perseus decided that this would be the perfect gift to give to the king, because he had nothing else to give. Luckily, Perseus was guided and helped by the gods Athena and Hermes. They led him to the place where the Gorgons were, and they told him that he should kill Medusa because she was the only one of the Gorgons that could be killed. The other two were immortal. They even helped him devise his plan to kill Medusa. They provided him with a talisman, a sword, which he used to slay Medusa and seize her head for the king. Back to you, Cydni.
Thank you, Marae. Folks, if you are joining us just now, we have more breaking news headlines that people all over Ithaca have been talking about. King Osidius has returned home, and I have two witnesses from the scene here to tell their side of the story. I'm here with Athena, one of King Osidius' supernatural helpers, known as the goddess of wisdom, craft, and war. And Telemachus, Osidius' son. Thank you two for joining us. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So, you say you have witnessed Osidius return home and saw Penelope sad-faced and resigned? Yes, I could tell that Penelope was feeling hopeless. Each day she would weave a tapestry and unravel what she has done each night. Osidius listened to my suggestion about returning home to her, and he knew it would take some time, patience, to understand more about her. And you, Telemachus?
Yes, by that time I had been gone to Sparta to try to gain some news of Osidius from King Melanus and Helen. I recently returned back from Troy. Later I was sent from Sparta to Ithaca to join him there, and guided him from around the trap that had been set for him by Penelope's suitors. The nobles were eating, drinking, even laughing at him, when Eumaeus and I took Osidius to the palace to look around and see things for himself. They were showing no respect as Osidius returned from Ithaca, but he had to take their insults without responding to them.
Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. As we've been given more information about this, it seems that the nobles were sure of their powers and no longer kept their weapons when they feasted. The swords and spears were stored in an anteroom, so Osidius instructed Eumaeus to remove them and hide them in the bushes of the garden.
The nobles didn't notice anything, and the feast continued as one suitor after another persuaded Penelope to marry them. As Penelope grew weary of the never-ending struggle, Ptolemaeus challenged the suitors to show that they are skillful by shooting through no fewer than 12 axe rings with Assidius's bow. The best suitor who completes the task will be able to marry Penelope. Reporting live from Ithaca, Cydni Bolden, 4P God News. Thank you.
I would like to report breaking news from Ethiopia. The queen, Cassiopeia's daughter, Andromeda, known for her beauty and narcissism, was offered up to be devoured by the horrible sea serpent. Her father, King Cepheus, was forced consent by the Ethiopians, awaiting for the coming of the monster to take her as a sacrifice to free their people. We've been told that the well-known and fearless Perseus arrived at the cliff where Andromeda was at and fell in love with her instantly. He waited by her as the snake came up to eat her, and he cut off the head of the snake, just as he'd done with Medusa's. Perseus took Andromeda to her parents and asked for her hand in marriage, which they gladly gave to him for saving their people and sparing their daughter. Back over to you, Cydni.
After hearing news about that event, there's still some more news to share for you folks. We've just found out information about King Osidius killing the suitors. We don't know how this may have happened, but there will be further information in a few minutes. We will take a short break, so don't go away. We are continuing our breaking news segment with King Osidius killing the suitors. Here is the story. The next morning, after Telemachus challenged the suitors to a bow and arrow contest, one by one of the suitors tried to string and draw Osidius's bow. They had looks of, quote, exertion and shame because they could not even bend it. Each new man was determined to show their best skills, but none of them succeeded. The last man threw the bow with disgust and anger. A white-haired old man that the suitors had mocked stepped up to the challenge. As he was picking up the bow, they jeered at him, but they wondered why he was able to bend it easily. Stringing with the bow, he let it fly through the 12 axe rings that were placed upright on the ground. There was a moment of silence, and suddenly Osidius was standing there. The suitors rushed to the anteroom, but they discovered that their weapons had vanished. There was no way to go. Osidius and Telemachus attacked them with their swords. Many of the suitors were killed, and the others ran away. Osidius was home at last. Back to you, Mairead.
Thank you, Cydni. It has been recently discovered that Perseus, well known for killing the evil Gorgon Medusa, has accidentally killed King Acrisius during discus throwing at the great athletic contest held by King Larissa of the North. The ironic part was that Perseus killed his own grandfather. It turns out that a scandal has been going on for years. Danae, Acrisius' daughter, had gotten pregnant at a young age and kept her baby, her son Perseus, a secret from her father. But one day, the king had discovered Perseus and found out that it was his daughter's and it was his grandson. He asked her who the father was, in which she answered proudly, Zeus. The king was terrified that the prediction that he had gotten a long time ago from a priestess would come true, that he would have a daughter and she would have a son who would kill him. Instead of killing them both to prevent the prophecy, instead he had gotten rid of his daughter Danae and her son Perseus by placing them in a chest and casting them off into the water at sea. But fate finally came back around to Acrisius. Perseus and King Acrisius had coincidentally ended up at the great athletic contest in the north. Perseus had taken part in it, and Acrisius was visiting the king of Larissa there. When Perseus hurled the heavy discus in the discus throwing, it swerved and fell among the spectators. One of those spectators was Acrisius. The discus hand struck Acrisius, and the blow was fatal. He died at once. So, Apollo's oracle was again proved true. With his grandfather's death, Perseus and his mother's troubles had come to an end. Perseus said that if he felt any grief about killing the king, at least he knew that his grandfather had done his best for years to try to kill him and his mother. Thank you for joining us tonight on 4P God's News. Have a good morning, night, or afternoon. We hope to see you again very soon.